In today's interview, I have Shannon Kringen, an artist who has found not only weight loss success with intermittent fasting, but also some real mental health benefits. So, Shannon, thank you so much for being a part of this interview. And why don't you just give people like an introduction? Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Shannon Kringen, and I live in Seattle, Washington, USA, and for a living, I model for art classes, and I also work with medical students to pretend to be a patient, basically, and I'm an artist, but the way I make a living is through the modeling.
Excellent. That sounds like a very interesting career.
Yeah, I kind of fell into it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
Yeah, I used to take drawing classes, but I didn't like, my artwork is not realistic art, it's more abstract. And so I decided maybe I should go to the other side and become the model and let the other people draw me. So it was fun.
That's fantastic. So you still get to do the art, and it's just a different kind of thing. So excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you are currently having success with weight loss? Like how much have you lost, and how long has it taken you, and what are you doing?
Okay. Well, let's see. It's the most recent experience with this success of weight loss has been July 5th of 2018 is when I started intermittent fasting. And because I'd done previous things before that in my life, but this is the most recent. And I think I've lost about 25 pounds since July 5th,
Right?
2018. Um, and intermittent fasting, in addition to, I follow Dr. Eric Berg online, and I really like what he says about less carbs and a higher healthy fat. I find it easier, the fasting became easier and easier. If I keep my carbs low and eat a lot of healthy fat, then it seems like fasting is becoming easier and easier every day.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so are you doing like how long is your fasting window?
Oh, okay. I started with, I think, 16 hours. Yeah, I started basically by just skipping breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I did that was I ate about noon. So I guess I was starting with noon to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
for my eating window, and then I just kept pushing it. Let's see, it very gradually, kind of similar to you, I very, very gradually kept changing it and seeing how I felt. And if I get like dizzy or a headache or anything, I definitely will eat something. But if I'm feeling okay and I just drink coffee or tea or water, then I started eating at noon, and then I went to 1 and 2 and 3. And lately it's been 4 to 8 p.m. So I get
Mm-hmm.
20 hour fast at this point.
Excellent. So do you have a daily routine? Like you do the same thing every day, or is it different a lot of days?
Varies a little bit, but in terms of what I eat, or in terms of what? In terms of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like so I eat once a day, I walk 6 miles every day, but some people are like, it kind of depends on the day, and so
That's true, because I have like a random work schedule, and so I always try to eat at a similar time and bring food with me if I'm at work or something. I have lots of really nice containers for food, and I cook different things for myself. And let's see, exercise. Actually, I do exercise every day before I eat, and I either go for a walk for about 30 to 60 minutes. I don't know how far, but I just walk 30 to 60 minutes, or I ride my bicycle. And then I also have weights, like 12-pound weights that I do at home just for um, like every other day or something. I'll just do some sets of weights and different exercises just in my living room. Oh, in terms of what I eat too, it's similar from day to day.
okay. So give us a little backstory. Like with your weight, has this always been a challenge, or is this something that just happened in adulthood, or?
Yeah, it's always been a bit of a challenge. I've always been a very active person, so I've always exercised. Like my dad was a tennis teacher, and I grew up in California, in San Diego, California. So I was always outside roller skating and playing tennis with my dad and running around. But I had a huge sweet tooth, and I
Mm.
was really candy and pizza and ice cream and chocolate. And um, ever since a child, I just was sort of snacking all day and very active. And then as a teenager, I was on the tennis team in high school, and I was like kind of muscular, but I was always kind of chubby. And I thought, oh, this is just my body type. So I just thought, I guess I just have to be chubby. And but it always bothered me, but I never thought I could really fully fix that.
So, was there anything in particular, like a certain moment that you just decided to do something about it this time, or was it just kind of like a thing you came to gradually?
Well, in the past, I'd done things like in high school as a teenager, I'd done like calorie restriction type diets, and I used to drink these weird like chocolate shakes. I don't know what they were called, and it was kind of torture. Every time I lost weight, and like as a teenager, basically I would lose weight and then gain it back, maybe even gain a little bit more. And so I kind of gave up on diets. And then in my early 20s, like I was a vegetarian, and then I was a vegan, and then mostly I just would try to calorie restrict and exercise. But I could kind of get a little bit more fit, but I could never get rid of, particularly my belly. My belly, I could never, I always gain weight in the belly area, and my arms and legs would get leaner when I would do diet and exercise, but my belly would just stay, very round. And it bothered me. And I just felt kind of bloated a lot of the time, even though I would think I was eating fairly healthy. And so it seems like, I guess the main thing I wanted to share was fasting is my belly is totally changing in ways that no other diet. Because over the years, I'm actually I'm 49 right now, and I'm going to turn 50 later this month, and I'm a little freaked out by that. Um, and so, like 50, that's like getting up there. And um, so wait, to make a long story short, so I started. I feel like I'm not quite answering your question, but
No, I think you're answering it.
okay. Well, it's basically been because I'm 49 years old, and it's just been kind of an ongoing thing of me being like doing a lot of exercise and pretty muscular, good cardiovascular health, but just always just chubby, just like I think I want to actually burn off another 20 pounds. I lost 25, and I'm 5'8.5", and I thought I was like 185. And I guess at my heaviest, I think I was 214, like about 50 years ago, I was 214, and I never weighed myself, but I went to the doctor for a checkup, and they weighed me, and I was like, oh my, I had no idea I weighed over 200 pounds because I was muscular, and I just sort of was riding my bike everywhere and walking and really active. And so I was just sort of a muscular, chubby person, basically. And had no idea I weighed that much. And even now, I'm amazed that I'm down to 160 now. And I don't think I've been 160 since high school. And I feel like, God, maybe I could get down to 140 which I never thought I could be that lean.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what my fit weight would be actually, because there's still there's more kind of chubbiness on my body than I even thought. Like I thought 160 I would be leaner, but I still have a bit of belly and love handles on the back, and like to burn that off. That'd be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So this time around, do you feel like there's been something that's just different? That this go around, what has changed? Mindset or anything?
Oh, mindset. It's the fasting because I've never fasted before. I think in high school I did sort of 500 calorie a day type dieting, and it was really awful. I felt like I had headaches and was dizzy and just felt terrible and irritable. And fasting this time, because I'm not calorie restricting, I think maybe that's it. I feel uh like when I'm really hungry, I do get a little grumpy, but I don't feel dizzy, and I don't feel there's no headaches or dizziness. So I think maybe because I'm eating enough calories in my eating window. I think that's the difference. I'm not calorie restricting, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm restricting, and it seems like that's changing my chemistry. I don't know because I think my pancreas and my insulin levels are okay. I'm not diabetic or hypoglycemic, but I do feel like maybe what I'm doing is improving my my insulin levels, I've never had them checked, but I have a sense maybe my liver and my pancreas are healthier. Like I just feel like my body chemistry is changing in a way, and my stomach, like my waist area is getting like lean and like it's just like what do you call it? It's just it's almost like the shape of my body is changing in a way that it's never happened before when I've gotten thin. And I think about 6 years ago, actually, I stopped eating wheat because they told me that I had a low active thyroid, which really scared me. And I was on medication. And so I started basically eating a lot lower carb about 6 years ago. And I did lose some weight, but my belly's changing now in much more interesting, dramatic ways than it was when I just quit eating wheat and grain. And then my thyroid, basically, I was off. They told me I didn't need the thyroid medication anymore after about 6 weeks off of all grain, which was amazing. And so I've stuck with, I don't eat grain, but I still eat like ice cream and chocolate and stuff sometimes. So, and then I wanted to say too, my mental, or whenever we can talk about like my mental health has really improved. I'm eating this.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, like I have a tendency to have some anxiety and some depression, and I'm seeing a therapist about all that, and that's fine, but and exercise helps because I get the endorphins, but um my mood is so much more stable. Like I feel like maybe my blood sugar is more stable because of the way I'm eating, so maybe that's why my mood. I just feel like much less depressed and more like a kid, more like I'm excited and to be alive, eat delicious food whenever my window starts, and like everything is more fun. Like food tastes better, and I just feel happier like I did when I was a kid. That's what it reminds me of.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, are there any challenges that you still face though with food, or just how you're feeling, or?
Well, I scared myself a little bit when I started developing a fear of eating fruit, and I'm like afraid to eat fruit. So, it's too much sugar and the carbs in the fruit. And so I think I have to be careful to not get too carried away with thinking it's dangerous to eat an apple or something. I'm afraid that my blood sugar will go really high or something. Um, and then also I wonder how much to eat sometimes because I am losing weight. I think it's slowed down though. My weight loss I think is slowing down, but I want to make sure I don't eat too much, but I want to eat enough. So I wonder sometimes what's the healthiest thing for me to do in terms of how much I eat.
Right, right.
And,
I think that's the thing a lot of people I think are kind of afraid of, like I'm losing, am I losing too quickly? Am I eating enough? Am I eating too much? And,
yeah.
I think it's a thing everybody kind of has to just come to their own conclusion about, do I feel good right now? And try not to overthink it maybe or something.
Yeah, I agree. Don't overthink it and like trust that my body will know how to do what it needs to do. And because I don't want to slow down my metabolism, but I don't want to, if my body thinks it's starving, but then I want to like, um, make sure my body is burning its own fat for fuel and I guess find
Mm,
the and also my belly, I noticed that but I'm excited. This is the first time that I never thought I was overweight enough to have skin sort of hang, but my
mm,
belly changing. Previously when I lost weight, my belly just kind of stayed round and got a little smaller, but now it's really changing and it's kind of the texture is kind of saggy and dimply, but I guess, which is like, ooh, I don't, that kind of freaks me out a little bit, but aesthetically, because I model for artists, and so people see me from head to toe. I kind of
right.
want my skin to look as good as it can, but I'm so happy that the belly fat is finally burning away that I guess I could just celebrate the texture of my belly is changing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, is there any piece of advice that you would give somebody else out there? They're on their weight loss journey, and what would you tell them?
I would say similar to some of the things you've said about trusting yourself and keeping it as simple as you can and not pushing yourself too hard and um don't make it so hard and complicated that you can't do it. Like something that you can actually sustain and keep going. And then if you mess up, just say, oh, well, and then just keep on your path and don't ever give up and just take it one day at a time and learn as you go and listen to other people, but really listen to your own, how you feel, and check in with yourself every day and see how you feel and experiment with different kinds of foods and yeah, and see how that goes.
Yeah, I like all of what you said. I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any question that I didn't ask you that you really wish I would have asked?
I guess we already talked about it a little bit, the mental health, because I originally did this. I originally did this, for mostly I'm just concerned about my physical fitness and health, especially as I head into my 50s and my hormones are going to change and all of that. But mental health, I'm thinking that I'm amazed at how much this has made me feel more mentally stable and like a lot less. I feel like my depression is sort of going away, and because I've had it like most of my life, and my anxiety, like I still have anxiety, but I feel like when bad things happen, I don't freak out and overreact. And I'm thinking, this must be because whatever is happening to stabilize or balance my hormones, or I don't know, the way I'm eating is just, so basically mental health. I feel like there's so many people in the world that struggle with mental health issues. And I feel like nutrition, the importance of, well, both fasting and eating, I just feel like so many people could benefit. They probably would still need, to see a counselor if that's what they need, and maybe still need medication sometimes. Um, but I feel like there'd be a lot less mental illness in the world, I think, if people maybe experimented with fasting and eating different kinds of foods. Hope,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Well, Shannon, if people would like to get in touch with you,
yeah.
what is the best way they can connect with you online?
Oh, well, I'm all over, but I guess I'm on a bunch of social media. I don't know which to say. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I don't know, whatever's the easiest. I have my own website, which is just my name.com, so shannonkringen.com, and all my social media is linked to that, I guess. Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Because I really like what you said about that you basically just eat what you want and you're not on like a special diet or whatever. I think there's something comforting and refreshing about that because because most people are, they are on very strict, keto or very strict, none of this or none of that. And I like that you're more intuitive and you just kind of do whatever works for you and your family and all of that. And I feel like that's kind of helped me feel more like, oh, okay, I don't have to be so afraid of carbohydrates. And I think some people do better with more carbs and some people do better with less carbs. And there's people that are vegan and vegetarian and omnivores. And then there's the carnivore diet, which
Right.
is fascinating. And so I guess I just wanted to say thank you for being such a down to earth, refreshing, like simple. I don't know. You just have such a nice, friendly, simple way of sharing. And then you're open to other people's ideas. And I just really appreciate that about what you do. So thank
Well,
you for
thank
that.
you. Well, thank you for that encouragement. I try to
You.
be as, open with everything as I possibly can be. So,
I like that.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being
Thank-
part of this, Shannon. I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Thanks, Kayla. That was fun.